Hey guys, quick question. How long do you think you'd last without hand sanitizer, individual water bottles, or the luxury of not sharing saliva with 30 unwashed strangers? A day? A week? Try waking up in a medieval monastery in the year 1215. You'll be lucky to make it to Vespers without catching something that sounds like a Harry Potter curse and kills you twice as fast. Tonight, we're not talking about wise abbots, illuminated manuscripts, and monks with excellent penmanship. We're talking about the other reality. The one where communal living meant communal diseases. The ones whose hobbies included dying from preventable illnesses and sharing bodily fluids through religious ceremony. So before you wrap yourself in your antibacterial sheets made by machines that sterilize themselves, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Especially if you're procrastinating work, school, or basic hygiene. I respect it. Now dim the lights. Maybe put on some ambient background noise, like the gentle hum of your dishwasher, something that would be considered witchcraft in 1215. Because we're about to go back to a time where everything was contaminated, everyone shared everything, and death came with zero warning and even less sanitation. Let's get into it. You wake up on a straw mattress that hasn't been changed since the Crusades. The monastery bell is ringing for lauds. It's 3 in the morning. Your back feels like you've been sleeping on actual rocks because you basically have. The straw beneath you is home to more creatures than a nature documentary. You can feel them moving. The cell you're in measures roughly 6 feet by 8 feet. There's no window, no ventilation. The air tastes like centuries of human breath mixed with mold and something that might be dead rodents. You share this space with Brother Thomas, who snores like a dying walrus and has what appears to be the medieval equivalent of chronic bronchitis. You stumble out of bed. Your feet hit the stone floor. It's November in northern France, and the temperature inside the monastery is exactly the same as outside, which is to say, barely above freezing. You're wearing the same rough wool habit you've worn for 3 months. It hasn't been washed. Water is precious. Soap doesn't exist in any meaningful way. The bell keeps ringing. You have exactly zero choice in whether you attend Lauds. Miss morning prayers, and you'll be eating bread and water for a week, assuming you survive that long. Which, statistically speaking, you probably won't. You follow the line of shuffling monks through corridors that echo with coughing. Everyone is coughing. It's a symphony of respiratory distress that would make a tuberculosis ward sound like a concert hall. The monastery houses 87 monks. 63 of them are actively sick with something. The other 24 are incubating whatever's going around. The chapel is a marvel of medieval engineering and a disaster of medieval hygiene. 87 unwashed bodies packed into a space designed for maybe 50. The air is thick enough to chew. You can taste other people's exhalations. Someone near you is definitely running a fever. Someone else has what sounds like whooping cough. You kneel on the stone floor. Your knees immediately start screaming. You'll be here for an hour. The Latin flows over you like water over a stone. You understand maybe 1 word in 20. The monastery operates on the principle that God speaks Latin and everyone else can figure it out or go to hell. Literally. Brother Francis, who serves as the monastery's physician, is standing 2 rows ahead of you. He's the one who'll be treating your inevitable illness with a combination of prayer, bloodletting, and herbs that would make a modern pharmacist weep. His medical training consists of reading 1 book written by a Roman who died 800 years ago. His success rate is approximately the same as random chance, but with more bleeding. The service ends. You file out with everyone else. The sun isn't up yet. Won't be for another 3 hours. You have exactly 45 minutes before the next service. This is your free time. You spend it standing in the latrine line. The monastery latrine is a masterpiece of medieval engineering and a testament to humanity's ability to make anything worse. It's a long wooden bench with holes cut in it. The holes are positioned over a channel that theoretically carries waste away from the monastery. In practice, it creates a flowing river of human waste that attracts every disease-carrying insect within a 50-mile radius. There's no privacy, no toilet paper, no hand-washing facilities. You do your business while having a conversation with Brother Peter about the weather and trying not to think about the fact that you're sitting exactly where 50 other people have sat today. The wooden bench is smooth from use and slightly warm from the previous occupant. You finish your business and head to the refectory for breakfast. The refectory is where the magic happens. And by magic, I mean the kind of biological warfare that would make medieval armies jealous. The communal cup sits on the table like a chalice of doom. It's made of wood. It's been used by every monk in the monastery for the past 20 years. It's never been properly cleaned because proper cleaning would require soap, hot water, and an understanding of germs that won't exist for another 400 years. The cup is stained dark brown from years of use. The stains aren't just from wine and water. They're from blood, saliva, and whatever else people have been drinking, coughing up, or accidentally spitting into it. The rim is worn smooth from thousands of lips that have been everywhere and touched everything. Brother Augustine passes you the cup. His hands are black with dirt and whatever he was doing in the monastery garden yesterday. His fingernails are long and filled with substances you don't want to identify. He's been coughing blood for 3 days. The cup is warm from his grip. You take the cup. You have no choice. Refusing would be an act of rebellion against God, the monastery, and the natural order of things. You'd be accused of pride, possibly heresy, and definitely antisocial behavior. In a world where community survival depends on absolute conformity, being the guy who won't share a cup is basically a death sentence. The cup contains watered-down ale. It tastes like copper, mold, and something that might be tears. You can see particles floating in it. Some of them are moving. The rim is still wet from the previous drinker's saliva. You can taste it mixing with whatever's already in your mouth. You drink. Because you have to. Because this is how people have lived for centuries. Because the alternative is dying of thirst. And that's somehow worse than dying of whatever plague is currently making its way through the monastery. The ale hits your stomach like a punch. It's sour, warm, and thick with things that don't belong in beverages. You hand the cup to Brother Marcus, who's been waiting patiently behind you. He's got open sores around his mouth, and what appears to be some kind of rash covering his hands. He takes the cup eagerly. He's been awake since midnight, and this is the first liquid he's had since yesterday. You sit down at the long wooden table, the same table where every meal has been eaten for the past 50 years. The wood is stained with grease, blood, and substances that predate your arrival by decades. You eat with your hands. Everyone eats with their hands. Forks are a luxury item that exists only in the fantasies of Italian nobility. Breakfast is porridge made from grain that's been stored in a room with rats. The grain is moldy, the rats are dead, and the porridge tastes like both. You eat it because the alternative is starvation. You eat it because complaining about food is a sin. You eat it because this is actually better than what most people are eating outside the monastery walls. The monk sitting across from you has been coughing into his porridge for the past 5 minutes. Each cough sends a spray of droplets across the table. Some of them land in your bowl. You keep eating. Because stopping would mean drawing attention to yourself, and attention in a medieval monastery is never good. Brother Lawrence, the monastery cook, is standing in the corner watching everyone eat. He's proud of his work. He's been cooking for the monastery for 15 years. His understanding of food safety is limited to don't let it rot completely and cook it until it stops moving. His success rate is measured by the fact that most people finish their meals before dying. You finish your porridge and stand to leave. The communal cup is still making its rounds. It's reached Brother Edmund, who has what appears to be some kind of mouth infection. He drinks deeply, savouring every drop. He hands it to Brother Paul, who's been complaining about stomach pains for a week. Brother Paul drinks without hesitation. He's grateful for the liquid. He's been dehydrated since yesterday. You walk out of the refectory and into the monastery courtyard. The sun is finally up. The courtyard is a square of dirt surrounded by stone walls. In the centre is a well. The same well that provides water for drinking, cooking, cleaning, and whatever else water gets used for. The well is maybe 30 feet deep. At the bottom, Along with the groundwater are several centuries' worth of dropped objects, dead animals, and whatever else has fallen in over the years. Brother Martin is drawing water from the well. He's using the same bucket that everyone uses. The bucket is wooden, cracked, and home to a thriving ecosystem of bacteria and parasites. He fills his bucket and carries it to the kitchen, the same kitchen where your next meal is being prepared. You have work to do. Every monk has work. The monastery runs on the principle that idle hands are the devil's workshop. Your job is copying manuscripts in the scriptorium. You spend your days bent over parchment, copying religious texts by hand. Your ink is made from crushed insects and tree bark. Your quill is made from goose feathers. Your eyesight is deteriorating daily. The scriptorium is a long room with windows facing north. The light is dim and grey. You work by candlelight when the sun isn't bright enough. The candles are made from animal fat and produce smoke that burns your eyes and coats your lungs. The room smells like melting tallow, wet parchment, and human sweat. You sit at your desk next to Brother William, who's been copying the same psalm for 3 months. His handwriting is beautiful. His understanding of what he's copying is non-existent. He speaks no Latin. He recognizes letters and copies them in order. He's essentially a human photocopier with a respiratory infection. The parchment you're working on is made from sheepskin. It's rough, uneven, and expensive. A single page costs more than most people make in a month. You're copying the Gospel of Matthew. You've been working on it for 6 months. You'll be working on it for another 6 months. Assuming you live that long. Your hand cramps from holding the quill. Your back aches from hunching over the desk. Your eyes water from the smoke and strain. You've developed a persistent cough from the dust and mold that fills the air. You're slowly going blind, deaf, and insane. But your penmanship is excellent. The morning passes in a blur of Latin words and aching joints. The bell rings for sext. Time for more prayers. You file into the chapel with everyone else. The same chapel where you were 3 hours ago. The same air, the same smells, the same symphony of coughing and wheezing. You kneel on the stone floor. Your knees are already bruised from the morning service. You'll be here for another hour. The Latin flows over you like a familiar poison. You understand it now about as well as you did this morning. Which is to say, not at all. Brother Francis is coughing blood again. The sound echoes through the chapel like a death rattle. He's been coughing blood for a week. In a modern hospital, he'd be in intensive care. In a medieval monastery, he's expected to maintain his prayer schedule until he dies, which should be sometime this afternoon. The service ends. You have an hour before the next meal. You spend it in the monastery garden, helping Brother Gerard tend to the vegetables. The garden is where the monastery grows its own food. Vegetables that will be eaten without washing, prepared without sanitation, and served with complete disregard for basic food safety. Brother Gerard is kneeling in the dirt, pulling weeds with his bare hands. His hands are covered in cuts and scrapes. The cuts are infected. The infections are spreading. He's been treating them with prayer and optimism. His success rate is exactly what you'd expect. You kneel beside him and start pulling weeds. The soil is rich with human waste. The monastery's latrine system feeds directly into the garden. It's an efficient system that recycles waste into food. It's also a perfect breeding ground for every parasite and disease known to medieval medicine. Your hands are soon covered in dirt, plant matter, and substances you don't want to identify. A cut on your finger opens and starts bleeding. The blood mixes with the soil. You keep working. Because stopping would mean explaining why you're not contributing to the community's survival. The vegetables you're tending will be served at dinner. They'll be eaten raw because cooking requires fuel, and fuel is expensive. They'll be eaten with hands that have been nowhere near soap or clean water. They'll be eaten by people who've been sharing the same cup, breathing the same air, and living in the same impossible conditions. Brother Gerard stands up and wipes his hands on his habit. The same habit he's been wearing for months. The same habit he sleeps in, works in, and prays in. He's proud of his work. The vegetables are growing well. The monastery will have fresh food for dinner. He's contributing to the community's survival. You stand up and follow him back to the monastery. Your hands are black with dirt and blood. You have no way to clean them. The nearest source of clean water is a 3-day journey away. The nearest source of soap is a fantasy. The bell rings for none. More prayers. More kneeling on stone floors. More breathing air that's been through 87 pairs of lungs. More listening to Latin that might as well be magical incantations. More watching Brother Francis cough blood onto the chapel floor. You kneel in your assigned spot. The spot you've occupied for every service since you arrived. The stone is worn smooth from centuries of knees. Your knees are bruised and bleeding. You'll be here for another hour. The pain is part of the spiritual experience. Suffering brings you closer to God. God apparently enjoys watching people suffer. Brother Thomas, who shares your cell, is kneeling beside you. He's been running a fever for 2 days. His skin is hot to the touch. His breathing is shallow and rapid. He's sweating despite the cold. He's probably going to die before morning. He's still here for prayers because dying is no excuse for missing religious obligations. The service ends. You file out with everyone else. The sun is setting. You've been awake for 15 hours. You've eaten 1 meal. You've consumed liquids that would make a sewage treatment plant jealous. You've breathed air that belongs in a biological warfare laboratory. You're still alive. Barely. Dinner is served in the refectory. The same refectory where you had breakfast. The same table. The same benches. The same communal cup, making its rounds like a chalice of doom. The vegetables you helped harvest are served raw. They're covered in dirt and whatever else was in the garden's soil. They taste like earth and death. The communal cup reaches you again. It's been around the table twice since dinner started. 87 monks have drunk from it. 87 mouths have touched the rim. The cup is warm and wet with accumulated saliva. You can see lip prints on the wood. Some of them are bloody. You take the cup. You drink. Because you have to. Because this is how people live. Because the alternative is dying of thirst, and that's somehow worse than dying of whatever's brewing in the communal cup. The liquid tastes like copper, mold, and despair. You hand the cup to the next monk. He drinks eagerly. He's grateful for the liquid. He's been dehydrated since yesterday. Brother Francis collapses during dinner. He's been coughing blood for a week. His lungs are filling with fluid. His body is shutting down. He's dying of something that sounds like consumption and kills like poison. The other monks carry him to the infirmary. The same infirmary where people go to die with dignity. You finish your dinner and return to your cell. Brother Thomas is already there, lying on his straw mattress. His fever has gotten worse. His skin is burning hot. His breathing sounds like a broken bellows. He's delirious. He's calling for his mother, who died 20 years ago. You lie down on your own mattress. The straw is moving beneath you. The creatures that live in it are more active at night. You can feel them crawling across your skin. You've stopped trying to brush them away. They're part of the ecosystem now. You're part of their food chain. The monastery is quiet except for the sound of coughing. It echoes through the corridors like a death song. 87 monks coughing in harmony. Some of them are coughing blood. Some of them are coughing their lives away. All of them are coughing into the same air you're breathing. You close your eyes and try to sleep. Your body aches from the day's work. Your hands are cut and infected. Your knees are bruised and bleeding. Your lungs are filling with whatever's in the air. Your stomach is cramping from the food you've eaten. Your head is pounding from dehydration and stress. Brother Thomas stops breathing sometime around midnight. You wake up to silence. The absence of his labored breathing is somehow more disturbing than the sound itself. You reach over and touch his forehead. He's still warm. He's been dead for maybe an hour. You lie there in the dark, listening to the sounds of the monastery, coughing, wheezing, and the occasional scream from someone having a fever dream. Brother Thomas is dead beside you. Tomorrow his body will be carried to the cemetery. His straw mattress will be given to the next monk who needs it. The straw won't be changed. The creatures living in it will find a new host. You don't sleep. You lie there thinking about the communal cup, the shared air, the contaminated food, and the dying monk beside you. You think about the cuts on your hands, the pain in your chest, and the fever that's starting to build behind your eyes. You think about Brother Francis, who's probably dead by now. You think about the dozens of other monks who are slowly dying of preventable diseases. The bell rings for matins. It's 2 a.m. You've been lying awake for 2 hours. Brother Thomas is still dead beside you. You get up and join the line of shuffling monks heading to the chapel. No one mentions the dead monk. Death is common. Death is expected. Death is part of the daily routine. The chapel is fuller than usual. Word has spread about Brother Francis. The monks are praying for his soul. They're also praying for their own souls, because they know they're next. The communal cup has been making its rounds for months. Everyone has drunk from it. Everyone has shared whatever diseases were brewing inside it. You kneel on the stone floor. Your knees are bleeding through your habit. The blood is mixing with the dirt and grime that covers everything. You're contributing to the monastery's ecosystem of disease and death. You're part of the problem now. The service ends. You file out with everyone else. The sun isn't up yet. Won't be for another 4 hours. You have exactly 30 minutes before the next service. You spend it standing in the latrine line, thinking about the dead monk in your cell and the fever that's building behind your eyes. The monastery latrine is busier than usual. Everyone is having stomach problems. The vegetables from last night's dinner are working their way through the community's digestive systems. The latrine is a symphony of human misery. You do your business while trying not to think about the fact that you're sitting where infected people have been sitting all night. You return to the refectory for breakfast. The communal cup is waiting on the table like an old friend. It's been refilled with fresh ale. The same ale that's been brewing in barrels that haven't been cleaned since the monastery was founded. The same ale that's been stored in a room with rats, mould, and things that don't belong in beverage storage. Brother Augustine passes you the cup. His hands are shaking. His skin is pale and clammy. He's been having fever dreams all night. He's dying of something that sounds like the plague and kills like poison. He drinks from the cup eagerly. He's grateful for the liquid. He's been hallucinating from dehydration. You take the cup. It's warm and wet with accumulated saliva. You can see particles floating in the ale. Some of them are moving. The rim is stained with blood and other substances. You drink because you have to, because this is how people live, because the alternative is dying of thirst. The ale tastes like copper, mould, and despair. It hits your stomach like acid. You hand the cup to Brother Marcus, who's been coughing blood since yesterday. He drinks without hesitation. He's beyond caring about contamination. He's beyond caring about anything except the next drink. You sit down at the long wooden table, the same table where every meal has been eaten for the past 50 years. The wood is stained with decades of human fluids. You eat your porridge with hands that are cut and infected. The porridge tastes like mold and death. You eat it because the alternative is starvation. The monk sitting across from you collapses into his porridge. He's been running a fever for 3 days. His body has finally given up. The other monks carry him to the infirmary. The same infirmary where people go to die with dignity. His porridge is left on the table. It's still warm. It's still contaminated. It's still part of the monastery's ecosystem. You finish your breakfast and head to the scriptorium. The same scriptorium where you've been copying manuscripts for months. The same desk. The same quill. The same parchment. The same air that's been through 87 pairs of lungs. The same smoke from candles made of animal fat. Your hand shakes as you hold the quill. The fever is getting worse. Your vision is blurring. Your chest hurts with every breath. You're dying of something that sounds like consumption and kills like poison. But you keep working, because stopping would mean admitting you're sick, and admitting you're sick would mean admitting the system has failed. Brother William, who sits beside you, hasn't spoken in 2 days. He's been coughing blood into his manuscript. The blood is mixing with the ink. His beautiful penmanship is now decorated with his own bodily fluids. He's creating illuminated manuscripts in the most literal sense possible. The morning passes in a blur of Latin words and increasing pain. Your fever is getting worse. Your hands are shaking. Your vision is failing. You're dying slowly and publicly, but you keep working. Because this is how people live. Because this is how people die. The bell rings for sext. Time for more prayers. You file into the chapel with everyone else. The same chapel where you've been kneeling for months. The same stone floor, the same stained glass windows, the same air that's been killing people for centuries. You kneel in your assigned spot. The pain is unbearable. Your knees are bleeding through your habit. Your chest feels like it's on fire. Your head is pounding with every heartbeat. You're dying in front of 87 other people. No one notices. Everyone is dying. Brother Francis is back in the chapel. He's been brought from the infirmary for prayers. He's barely conscious. His breathing sounds like a death rattle. He's propped up between two other monks. He's dying publicly and religiously. He's setting an example for the rest of the community. The service ends. You stumble out of the chapel. Your legs are shaking. Your vision is fading. You're dying of something that could be prevented with basic sanitation and modern medicine. But you're in 1215. Basic sanitation is a fantasy. Modern medicine is 500 years away. You collapse in the monastery courtyard. Same courtyard where you've walked for months. The same dirt, the same well, the same stones. Your body hits the ground hard. You can taste blood in your mouth. You're coughing up pieces of your own lungs. Brother Gerard finds you lying in the dirt. He's been working in the garden. His hands are covered in soil and human waste. He touches your forehead with his infected hands. You're burning with fever. Your skin is hot and dry. You're dehydrated from days of drinking contaminated liquids. He carries you to the infirmary, the same infirmary where people go to die with dignity. The room is full of dying monks. They're lying on straw mattresses that haven't been changed since the monastery was founded. They're breathing the same air. They're dying of the same diseases. They're sharing their final moments with complete strangers. Brother Francis is in the bed next to you. He's been coughing blood for 2 weeks. His lungs are full of fluid. His body is shutting down organ by organ. He's dying of something that sounds like tuberculosis and kills like poison. He's conscious enough to pray. He's praying for his own soul. The monastery physician examines you with hands that have been inside other dying people. He doesn't wash his hands between patients. He doesn't sterilize his instruments. He doesn't understand the concept of infection control. His medical knowledge comes from books written by people who died centuries ago. He diagnoses you with an imbalance of humors. He recommends bloodletting, prayer, and herbs that will make your condition worse. He's trying to help. He's doing his best with the knowledge he has. His best is approximately useless, but he's committed to the process. You lie on your straw mattress, listening to the sounds of people dying around you. Some of them are coughing blood. Some of them are hallucinating from fever. Some of them are calling for family members who died years ago. All of them are dying of preventable diseases. The communal cup is brought to the infirmary, the same cup that's been making its rounds for months, the same cup that's been shared by every monk in the monastery, the same cup that's been spreading disease like a biological weapon. The dying monks drink from it eagerly. They're grateful for the liquid. They're beyond caring about contamination. You drink from the cup. Because you have to. Because this is how people die. Because the alternative is dying of thirst, and that's somehow worse than dying of whatever's brewing in the communal cup. The liquid tastes like copper, mold, and the accumulated saliva of 87 dying men. Night falls. The monastery is quiet except for the sound of death. People are dying in their cells, in the infirmary, and in the chapel. They're dying of diseases that have names like consumption, pestilence, and wasting sickness. They're dying of things that could be prevented with soap and clean water. You close your eyes and try to sleep. Your body is shutting down. Your lungs are filling with fluid. Your heart is beating irregularly. Your brain is cooking in your own fever. You're dying of something that started with a communal cup and ended with organ failure. Brother Thomas appears in your fever dreams. He's standing at the foot of your bed, looking exactly as he did when he was alive. He's still coughing. He's still running a fever. He's still wearing the same habit he died in. He's come to escort you to whatever comes next. You wake up to sunlight streaming through the infirmary windows. You're still alive. Barely. Your fever has broken sometime during the night. Your breathing is shallow but steady. Your heart is still beating. You've survived another day in the monastery. Brother Francis is dead in the bed next to you. He died sometime during the night. His body is still warm. His eyes are still open. He's staring at the ceiling with the expression of someone who's seen something terrible. His final breath is still hanging in the air. The monastery physician examines his body with the same hands he used to examine you. He doesn't wash his hands between the living and the dead. He doesn't understand the concept of post-mortem contamination. He's doing his best with the knowledge he has. His best is exactly what you'd expect. You lie there thinking about the communal cup, the shared air, the contaminated food, and the dying monks around you. You think about the cuts on your hands, the pain in your chest, and the fever that nearly killed you. You think about Brother Francis, who's dead beside you. You think about Brother Thomas, who died in your cell. The bell rings for lauds. It's 3 a.m. You've been in the infirmary for 24 hours. You're still alive. You're still infected. You're still part of the monastery's ecosystem of disease and death. But you're alive. You get up and join the line of shuffling monks heading to the chapel. The same chapel where you've been praying for months. The same stone floor, the same stained glass windows, the same air that's been killing people for centuries. You're back where you started. You're back in the cycle. The chapel is less crowded than usual. Several monks have died during the night. Their bodies are being prepared for burial. Their straw mattresses are being given to new monks. The straw won't be changed. The creatures living in it will find new hosts. You kneel on the stone floor. Your knees are still bleeding. The blood is mixing with the dirt and grime that covers everything. You're still contributing to the monastery's ecosystem. You're still part of the problem. But you're alive. The service ends. You file out with everyone else. The sun isn't up yet. Won't be for another 4 hours. You have exactly 45 minutes before the next service. You spend it thinking about the dead monks, the contaminated cup, and the fact that you're still breathing. The refectory is quieter than usual. Several chairs are empty. The monks who occupied them are dead. The communal cup sits on the table like an old friend. It's been refilled with fresh ale. The same ale that's been brewing in contaminated barrels. The same ale that's been stored with rats and mold. Brother Augustine passes you the cup. His hands are steadier than yesterday. His skin has better color. He's recovering from whatever was killing him. He's one of the lucky ones. He drinks from the cup and passes it to you. He's grateful to be alive. He's grateful for the liquid. He's grateful for another day in the monastery. You take the cup. It's warm and wet with fresh saliva. You can see particles floating in the ale. Some of them are moving. The rim is stained with blood and other substances. You drink because you have to, because this is how people live, because the alternative is dying of thirst. The ale tastes like copper, mold, and hope. It hits your stomach like a benediction. You hand the cup to the next monk. He drinks eagerly. He's grateful for the liquid. He's grateful to be alive. He's grateful for another day in the cycle. You sit down at the long wooden table, the same table where every meal has been eaten for the past 50 years. The wood is stained with decades of human fluids. You eat your porridge with hands that are healing. The porridge tastes like mold and survival. You eat it because you're alive. The communal cup continues its rounds. It passes from monk to monk like a blessing. Each person drinks gratefully. Each person adds their own contribution to the mixture. Each person trusts in God, community, and the hope that today won't be the day they die. You finish your breakfast and head to the scriptorium. The same scriptorium where you've been copying manuscripts for months. The same desk, the same quill, the same parchment. the same air that's been through dozens of pairs of lungs, the same smoke from candles made of animal fat. Your hand is steadier today. Your vision is clearer. Your chest doesn't hurt as much. You're recovering from whatever was killing you. You're one of the lucky ones. You pick up your quill and continue copying the Gospel of Matthew, the same gospel you've been working on for months. Brother William is still beside you. He's still coughing blood into his manuscript. His beautiful penmanship is still decorated with his own bodily fluids. But he's alive. He's working. He's contributing to the monastery's mission. He's creating illuminated manuscripts in the most literal sense possible. The morning passes in a blur of Latin words and gratitude. You're alive. You're working. You're part of the community. You're copying religious texts that will outlast your body. You're creating something beautiful in a world that's mostly ugly. The bell rings for sext. Time for more prayers. You file into the chapel with everyone else. The same chapel where you've been kneeling for months. The same stone floor, the same stained glass windows, the same air that's been killing people for centuries. You kneel in your assigned spot. The pain is manageable. Your knees are healing. Your chest feels better. Your head is clear. You're alive in a world where most people are dying. You're grateful for the pain because it means you're still breathing. The service ends. You file out with everyone else. The sun is shining. The monastery courtyard looks different in the daylight. The same dirt, the same well, the same stones. But you're seeing them with eyes that almost closed forever. Everything looks more beautiful when you've almost died. You spend the afternoon in the monastery garden, the same garden where you've been working for months. The same soil, the same vegetables, the same human waste fertilizing everything. But you're alive to see it. You're alive to contribute. You're alive to be part of the cycle. Brother Gerard is kneeling in the dirt beside you. His hands are still covered in cuts and infections. He's still treating them with prayer and optimism. But he's alive. He's working. He's growing food that will feed the community. He's contributing to everyone's survival. You kneel beside him and pull weeds. Your hands are healing. The cuts are closing. The infections are clearing. You're recovering from whatever was killing you. You're one of the lucky ones. You're alive in a world where most people die young. The vegetables you're tending will be served at dinner. They'll be eaten raw because cooking requires fuel. They'll be eaten with hands that have been nowhere near soap. They'll be eaten by people who share everything, including their diseases. But they'll be eaten by people who are alive. The bell rings for Vespers, time for evening prayers. The bell rings for Vespers, time for evening prayers. You file into the chapel with everyone else. The same chapel where you nearly died yesterday. The same stone floor where your blood mixed with centuries of other people's blood. The same air that carried disease from lung to lung like whispered secrets. You kneel in your assigned spot. The stone feels different under your knees. Not softer, but more familiar, like an old enemy you've learned to live with. Your body has adapted to the pain. Your immune system has adapted to the diseases. Your mind has adapted to the reality that death is always one breath away. The chapel is fuller tonight. Word has spread that several monks survived the latest outbreak. The community is celebrating in the only way it knows how. Through prayer, gratitude, and the hope that God will continue to protect them from the consequences of their own hygiene practices. Brother Augustine is leading tonight's prayers. His voice is stronger than it's been in weeks. He's recovered from whatever was killing him. He's grateful to be alive. He's grateful to be leading prayers instead of receiving last rites. His Latin flows through the chapel like water through stone. The service ends. You file out into the evening air. The sun is setting behind the monastery walls. The courtyard is bathed in golden light. The same light that's been falling on this place for centuries. The same light that's witnessed thousands of deaths and dozens of survivors. Dinner is served in the refectory. The same refectory where you've eaten for months. The same table, the same benches, the same communal cup, waiting like a familiar friend. The vegetables you helped harvest are served raw. They taste like earth and hope. The communal cup reaches you again. It's been around the table once already. 43 monks have drunk from it. 43 mouths have touched the rim. The cup is warm and wet with accumulated saliva. But you're one of 43 people who are still alive. You're part of a community that has survived another day. You take the cup and drink. The liquid tastes like copper, mold, and victory. It tastes like survival in a world designed to kill you. You hand the cup to Brother Marcus, who's been coughing less today. He drinks gratefully. He's alive. He's part of the community. He's sharing in the victory. You finish your dinner and return to your cell. A new monk has been assigned to Brother Thomas's bed. Brother Peter is young, maybe 20 years old. He's been sent from another monastery. He doesn't know about the communal cup yet. He doesn't know about the contaminated food. He doesn't know that he's probably going to die within a month. You lie down on your straw mattress, the same mattress you've slept on for months. The creatures living in it have become familiar. They're part of your ecosystem now. You're part of theirs. You've achieved a balance that most people never experience. Brother Peter asks you about life in the monastery. His voice is eager and innocent. He wants to know about the daily routine, the other monks, the spiritual life. You tell him about the prayers, the work, the community. You don't tell him about the diseases. He'll learn about those soon enough. The monastery settles into its evening rhythm. Coughing echoes through the corridors, but it's quieter than usual. Fewer people are dying tonight. The community has survived another outbreak. The survivors are grateful, the dead are buried. The cycle continues. You close your eyes and listen to the sounds around you. Brother Peter's breathing is steady and healthy. The coughing from other cells is less frequent. The monastery is healing. The community is recovering. Life is continuing despite everything. You wake up the next morning to the sound of bells. Lords again. 3 a.m. again. Brother Peter is already awake, eager to begin his first full day as a member of the community. He doesn't know what he's walking into. His innocence is both touching and doomed. You lead him to the chapel, the same chapel where you've been praying for months. You show him where to kneel, how to hold his hands, when to stand and sit. He follows your guidance gratefully. He's eager to be part of something larger than himself. The service proceeds normally. The Latin flows over both of you like familiar music. Brother Peter whispers along, trying to learn the words. His pronunciation is terrible. His enthusiasm is infectious. He's contributing to the community's spiritual life in his own way. After prayers, you lead him to the refectory. The communal cup is waiting on the table. Brother Peter looks at it curiously. He's never seen anything like it. In his previous monastery, each monk had his own cup. The concept of sharing seems foreign to him. Brother Augustine passes the cup to you first. You drink and hand it to Brother Peter. He hesitates for just a moment. The rim is wet with your saliva. The liquid inside has particles floating in it. He's smart enough to know this isn't sanitary, but he's committed enough to drink anyway. The cup touches his lips for the first time. He drinks carefully, trying not to think about where it's been. The liquid hits his system like a shock. His body isn't prepared for the bacterial load. His immune system goes into overdrive. He's just been inducted into the monastery's ecosystem. You watch him process the experience. His face goes through several expressions: surprise, disgust, acceptance, and finally resignation. He understands now. This is how people live here. This is how the community survives. This is how faith is practiced. Breakfast proceeds normally. Brother Peter eats his porridge with growing understanding. Every bite is contaminated. Every swallow is a roll of the dice. Every meal is a test of faith. He's learning the rules of survival in real time. You lead him to the scriptorium after breakfast, the same room where you've been working for months. You show him to an empty desk next to yours. The previous occupant died 2 weeks ago. His work materials are still there. His last manuscript is half finished. His blood is still staining the parchment. Brother Peter picks up the dead monk's quill, the same quill that touched infected lips, contaminated hands, and diseased breath. He doesn't hesitate. He begins copying where the previous monk left off. He's continuing someone else's work with someone else's tools. He's becoming part of the continuum. The morning passes quietly. Brother Peter works with the focused intensity of someone who doesn't yet understand that he's probably going to die. His handwriting is neat and careful. His Latin is better than most. He's contributing to the monastery's mission from his first day. You watch him work and remember your own first days. The optimism, the energy, the belief that you were joining something pure and holy. The gradual realization that you were joining something dangerous and deadly. The acceptance that came with survival. The bell rings for sext. Brother Peter follows you to the chapel eagerly. He's still excited about being part of the community. He kneels beside you on the stone floor. His knees aren't used to the pain yet. He shifts uncomfortably but doesn't complain. The service proceeds normally. The coughing is less frequent today. The community is healing. Brother Peter notices the difference but doesn't understand its significance. He thinks this is how it always sounds. He doesn't know about the outbreak that nearly killed everyone. After prayers, you show Brother Peter the monastery garden. The same garden where you've been working for months. He kneels in the soil beside Brother Gerard. His hands touch the earth for the first time. The same earth that's fertilized with human waste. The same earth that breeds disease and grows food. Brother Gerard welcomes him warmly. He shows him which plants to tend, which weeds to pull, how to care for the vegetables. He doesn't mention the contamination. He doesn't explain the risks. He just shows him how to contribute to the community's survival. Brother Peter works enthusiastically. His hands are soon covered in dirt and plant matter. The soil gets under his fingernails, into his cuts, through his skin. He's being inoculated with the monastery's ecosystem. His body is learning to adapt or die. The afternoon passes peacefully. The sun shines on the monastery walls. The vegetables grow in contaminated soil. The monks work with infected hands. The community continues its ancient rhythm of survival and death. The bell rings for vespers. Brother Peter follows you to the chapel for evening prayers. He's tired from his first full day. His body is already fighting the bacterial load from the communal cup. His immune system is working overtime. He doesn't know it yet. The service proceeds normally. Brother Peter's voice joins the chorus of prayer. His Latin is improving. His pronunciation is getting better. He's learning the words that will comfort him as he dies. The same words that have comforted thousands of dying monks. Dinner is served in the refectory. The communal cup makes its rounds again. Brother Peter drinks without hesitation now. He's learning to trust the community. He's learning to accept the risks. He's learning that survival requires faith in things that should terrify you. You return to your cell after dinner. Brother Peter is full of questions about monastery life. He wants to know about the other monks, the daily routine, the spiritual practices. You answer his questions honestly. You tell him about the work, the prayers, the community. You still don't tell him about the diseases. He'll learn about those soon enough. Tomorrow, or the next day, or the day after that. His body will start fighting the infections. His immune system will either adapt or fail. He'll either become part of the survivors or part of the statistics. You lie on your straw mattress and listen to his breathing. It's still steady and healthy. His body is still fighting. His spirit is still strong. He's still innocent about what he's joined. That innocence won't last long. The monastery settles into its nighttime rhythm, coughing from other cells, but quieter than usual. Breathing that's labored but persistent. The sounds of a community that refuses to die despite every reason it should. You close your eyes and think about the cycle. New monks arrive. Old monks die. The survivors adapt. The community continues. The communal cup keeps making its rounds. The diseases keep spreading. The faith keeps sustaining people through impossible circumstances. Brother Peter's breathing changes slightly during the night. Not dramatically, but enough to notice. His body is starting to react to the bacterial load. His immune system is working harder. The process has begun. You wake up to the sound of bells. Lords again. 3 in the morning again. Brother Peter is slower to wake up this morning. His body is fighting something. He's not sick yet, but he's not as healthy as he was yesterday. The chapel service proceeds normally. Brother Peter's voice is slightly hoarse. He's developing a cough. Nothing dramatic yet, just the beginning of his body's response to the monastery's ecosystem. He's joining the chorus of respiratory distress that defines community life. Breakfast brings the communal cup again. Brother Peter drinks without thinking about it now. The contamination is part of his daily routine. His body is learning to process the bacterial load. His immune system is either adapting or failing. The scriptorium welcomes Brother Peter for his second day of work. His handwriting is still neat, but his hand shakes slightly. His body is using energy to fight infection. His concentration is affected. His work is suffering. You work beside him, copying manuscripts and watching him change. The transformation is subtle but unmistakable. His skin is paler. His breathing is shallower. His cough is more frequent. He's becoming part of the monastery's ecosystem. The morning passes slowly. Brother Peter asks fewer questions. His enthusiasm is dimming. His body is demanding more energy for survival. His spirit is learning the harsh realities of communal living. The bell rings for sext. Brother Peter follows you to the chapel, but his steps are slower. His knees hurt more when he kneels. His body is adapting to pain. His spirit is learning endurance. The service proceeds normally. Brother Peter's cough joins the chorus of community illness. He's no longer an outsider. He's part of the symphony of survival. His voice adds to the collective prayer for health, safety, and another day of life. The garden work continues after prayers. Brother Peter's hands are developing cuts and infections. The soil is working its way into his system. His body is learning to process contamination. His immune system is either winning or losing. Brother Gerard notices the change, but doesn't comment. He's seen this transformation hundreds of times. New monks arrive healthy. The monastery's ecosystem claims them. They either adapt or die. It's not personal, it's just biology. The afternoon passes quietly. Brother Peter works with determination but less energy. His body is fighting battles he doesn't understand. His spirit is learning the discipline that survival requires. The bell rings for vespers. Brother Peter's cough is more pronounced during evening prayers. His voice cracks on the Latin words. His body is announcing its struggle to the community. He's joining the ranks of the chronically ill. Dinner brings the communal cup again. Brother Peter drinks without hesitation. The contamination is normal now. His body expects it. His immune system processes it automatically. He's part of the cycle. You return to your cell after dinner. Brother Peter is quieter tonight. His questions are fewer. His energy is focused on survival. His innocence is fading into the practical reality of staying alive. The monastery settles into its evening rhythm. The coughing is slightly louder tonight. Brother Peter's voice has joined the chorus. The community has claimed another member. The cycle continues. You lie on your straw mattress and listen to his breathing. It's more labored than yesterday. His body is working harder. His immune system is either adapting or preparing to fail. Tomorrow will tell the story. The days pass in familiar rhythm. Brother Peter's cough gets worse, then better, then worse again. His body fights the infections. His spirit learns endurance. His faith deepens through suffering. Some days he's stronger, some days he's weaker. But he's still alive. He's still working. He's still contributing to the community. He's becoming one of the survivors. The communal cup continues its rounds. Brother Peter drinks from it without thinking. The contamination is part of his life now. His body has adapted to process the bacterial load. His immune system has learned to survive. The scriptorium work continues. Brother Peter's handwriting has evolved. It's less perfect but more experienced. His manuscripts show the wear of survival. His Latin has improved through necessity. The garden work continues. Brother Peter's hands are scarred and calloused. The infections have healed into immunity. His body has learned to process contamination. He's part of the ecosystem now. The prayers continue. Brother Peter's voice is stronger some days, weaker others, but it's always there, adding to the community's collective plea for survival. His faith has been tested and proven. Months pass. Brother Peter is no longer the new monk. Another young man arrives from a distant monastery. Brother Peter shows him the ropes. The cycle continues. The communal cup makes its rounds. The new monk drinks for the first time. His face shows the same progression of emotions: surprise, disgust, acceptance, resignation. The process begins again. You watch from your position as one of the senior survivors. You've lived through multiple outbreaks. Your body has adapted to the monastery's ecosystem. Your immune system has learned to process contamination. You're part of the continuum. The new monk asks the same questions Brother Peter asked months ago. He receives the same answers. He learns the same lessons. He joins the same risks. The cycle is eternal. Years pass. You've become one of the senior monks. New arrivals look to you for guidance. You show them the communal cup, the contaminated food, the shared air. You teach them how to survive. Some of them adapt. Some of them die. The ones who survive become teachers for the next generation. The monastery continues its ancient mission of preserving knowledge and faith through impossible circumstances. The communal cup continues its rounds. You drink from it without thinking. The contamination is part of your life. Your body processes it automatically. You're part of the ecosystem. The scriptorium work continues. Your manuscripts show years of experience. Your handwriting has evolved through survival. Your Latin is fluent from necessity. You're contributing to something larger than yourself. The garden work continues. Your hands are permanently scarred from years of contaminated soil. Your body has learned to process infection. You're part of the cycle that feeds the community. The prayers continue. Your voice joins the eternal chorus of survival. Your faith has been tested and proven. You're part of something that transcends individual life and death. Brother Peter has become Brother Prior Peter. He leads prayers and manages the daily operations. His body bears the scars of survival. His spirit has been strengthened through suffering. He's part of the continuum. New monks continue to arrive. They drink from the communal cup. They eat contaminated food. They breathe shared air. They either adapt or die. The monastery continues its ancient rhythm. You've lost count of how many outbreaks you've survived, how many friends you've buried, how many new monks you've welcomed and mourned. The numbers don't matter. Survival matters. The communal cup continues its eternal rounds. Each monk adds their contribution to the mixture. Each person trusts in God, community, and the hope that today won't be the day they die. The monastery persists through centuries of plague, war, and social change. The communal cup survives the Black Death, the Reformation, and the modern world. The tradition continues. Eventually, science discovers germs, sanitation improves, individual cups replace communal ones. The old ways are abandoned as dangerous and primitive. But for centuries, the communal cup was how people lived, how communities survived, how faith was practiced. It was dangerous, deadly, and absolutely necessary. The monks who drank from it weren't ignorant. They were desperate. They were faithful. They were human beings doing their best to survive in a world that was trying to kill them. They shared everything because they had nothing. They trusted each other because they had no choice. They found God in their suffering because suffering was all they had. The communal cup was a symbol of community, faith, and the human capacity to find hope in hopeless circumstances. It was also a biological weapon that killed thousands of people. Both things were true. Both things mattered. Both things were part of the human experience of survival and death. You lie in your modern bed, with your individual water bottle and your antibacterial everything. You think about the monks who shared the communal cup, the ones who died from it, the ones who survived it. You think about community, faith, and the price of survival. You think about the diseases that killed them and the love that sustained them. You think about the cup that was both blessing and curse. You close your eyes and remember the taste of copper, mold, and hope. You remember the warmth of shared saliva and the comfort of community. You remember the price of survival and the value of life. The communal cup is gone. The monastery is empty. The monks are dead. But the story remains. The lesson endures. The human capacity for survival, faith, and community transcends individual death. You wouldn't last a day drinking from the same cup as a medieval monk. But somehow, they lasted for centuries. They survived impossible odds. They maintained their faith. They preserved their knowledge. They continued their community. They did it by sharing everything, including their diseases. They did it by trusting each other with their lives. They did it by finding God in their suffering and hope in their desperation. The communal cup was their symbol of faith. It was also their instrument of death. Both things were true. Both things mattered. Both things were part of their humanity. Sleep well in your clean bed with your individual everything. Remember the monks who shared the communal cup. Honor their memory by appreciating what you have and understanding what they sacrificed. The cup is gone. The story remains. The lesson endures. Community, faith, and survival come at a price. The medieval monks paid it willingly. They drank from the same cup and died for each other. That's how they lived. That's how they loved. That's how they found God in the midst of death. The communal cup was their communion with each other and with something larger than themselves. You wouldn't survive it, but somehow they did, for centuries. That's the real miracle.